What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. Now you guys could probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, definitely going to see this one as we got House Speaker Mike Johnson coming out, destroying, absolutely silencing CNN host Jake Tapper in this newest update, guys. I'm excited to get in this one, so we're not straight into it. Just make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we even get into it, you guys, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Donald Trump's campaign suggested he would begin previewing his closing argument Saturday night with Election Day barely 2 weeks away. But the former president kicked off his rally with a detailed story about Arnold Palmer, at one point even praising the late legendary golfer's genitalia, unquote. Mr. Speaker, you're crossing all over the country. You're working hard to get Republicans over the line in this election. You're talking about substantive issues. Is this really the closing message you want voters to hear from Donald Trump? Stories about Arnold Palmer's penis?
Huh?
Well, listen, I think that the headline that I read about the rally in Pennsylvania yesterday was the big question, and it's the one that Kamala Harris has not been able or willing to answer, and that is, are you better off now than you were under the Trump administration 4 years ago? And no one can answer that question with a yes. I mean, no one. And that's why Kamala Harris herself avoids the question. Look, I've been traveling the country nonstop, Jake. I've been in over 230 cities in 40 states right now. And I'm spending these final closing weeks in the swing states, in blue states, in toss-up districts for the House. I'm absolutely convinced. There's an energy out there right now. I'm convinced that we are going to win the White House, the Senate, and the House. And we're going to have a very aggressive agenda to get the economy going again, to help everyone. Look, everywhere I go, Jake, everybody has the same concerns. They're fed up and they're fired up about the cost of living that's unaffordable now, and the rising crime rates everywhere, and the weakness on the world stage, and the wide open border. And they know that Kamala Harris is responsible for those things. And they know that President Trump is offering alternatives. So put the rhetoric aside, look at the record of these two candidates. This shouldn't be about personalities, it should be about policy. And I think people are looking at that seriously, and that's why I'm convinced we're going to win.
I'm sure that you think that a policy debate would be better than a personality debate, but if President Biden had gone on stage and spoke about the size of a pro golfer's penis, I think you would be on this show right now saying you were shocked and appalled, and you would suggest it was evidence of his cognitive.
If Joe Biden's record was anywhere near as, up there with the likes of Donald Trump, not be a question, but not only was Joe Biden's record failing, but his mental was failing. Jake Tapper, I just don't see the point. He's trying to drive across. I'm glad we got Mike Johnson here to clear the air for Donald Trump, saying, hey, the message I was left with was the question of how was life 4 years ago versus it now, underneath the Biden Harris administration. You think about that question, you can't answer it was, worse back then and then what it is now, because Donald Trump had things in order, whereas Biden's been on vacation. Harris has been, just dipping and dodging all types of responsibility, any accountability for the last 3.5 years, guys, going on 4. Come on.
Now saying you were shocked and appalled, and you would suggest it was evidence of his cognitive decline. I wonder how Trump's remarks, not just the one about Arnold Palmer on his, quote, manhood, but everything we've heard from Trump this week, how it fits in with the analysis that the New York Times offered a few days ago. They looked at his speeches from 2015 and 2016 and looked at his speeches today and said, quote, with the passage of time, the 78-year-old former president's speeches have grown darker, harsher, longer, angrier, less focused, more profane, and increasingly fixated on the past. I know you want to talk about
fixated on the past is their way of saying they don't want Donald Trump to talk about his past record, his past accomplishments, whereas Kamala Harris can't even speak about or bring about. She tells people don't bring it up in interviews and sit down anything about her track record, what she's done in her past. I mean, it's honestly crazy to hear these folks try to push and spin this narrative. Listen to him.
Fixated on the past. I know you want to talk about policy, and I respect that, but the reason that Donald Trump is not up 10 points is because of comments like that one, where people do have concerns about his fitness, his acuity, and his stability. Why is he talking about Arnold Palmer's penis in front of Pennsylvania voters?
Jake, you seem to like that line a lot. Let me tell you that Donald Trump is doing rallies nonstop around the country.
Let me just say something. I don't want to be talking about this.
Right.
Donald Trump is out there saying it. It is.
But you continue to. Let's talk about.
Because you won't address
Wait a minute.
it.
Hold on.
You won't address it. He is out there talking to
No,
voters.
I'll address it. Let me answer it. Okay, don't say it again. We don't have to say it. I get it. There's lines in a rally.
He's literally just trying to beat that into the American people's head. His viewership, he's trying to taint them with this image that's all Donald Trump's speech was about. I mean, these guys miss the point every single time. It's so annoying. I hope Mike Johnson just absolutely come on, go ahead, Mike Johnson. I'm letting him have
Okay, don't say it again. We don't have to say it. I get it. There's lines in a rally. When President Trump is at a rally, sometimes he'll speak for 2 straight hours. You're questioning his stamina, his mental acuity. Joe Biden couldn't do that for 5 minutes. That's how you started this segment. You said, what if Biden was in a rally like that? He couldn't fill the room. Donald Trump does. You know why? Because they see him as a change agent, and they understand he has a record of performance. In his first administration, we had the greatest economy in the history of the world, Jake, not just the U.S. Everybody's wages were going up. Everybody had more jobs available to them. The pathway out of poverty was widened for more people, and that's what the American people are looking at. We're going to have a demographic shift in this electorate, Jake. There's going to be, when they count the votes and they do the math on the other side of this, I'm convinced you're going to have a record number of Hispanic and Latino voters coming into the Republican Party, a record number of Black and African American voters, record number of Jewish voters, and union workers and hardworking families, because they understand the Harris policies have destroyed their family finances. They have made them less safe in their cities. They have a wide open border with illegals and terrorists coming into our country. This is not working for the American people. They want to change, and that's what they see in Donald Trump. So he has fun at the rallies. He says things that are off the cuff. But I'm telling you, I've been in those events. I've been in those arenas, and people have a great time at those arenas. So you can cherry pick a few words or lines out of a 2-hour event. We could do that with Kamala Harris after a 20-minute event, because she does word salads, and she couldn't hold court like that without a teleprompter. We all know that.
So,
these are the facts. The American people see it, and the media.
These are the facts, and the American people see it. Yo, you hear Mike Johnson. He's absolutely just speaking the truth. I mean, I wouldn't even say that he's putting out anything that's going to slam down Jake Tab. He's simply just telling the truth. The fact of the matter, these guys always try to clip and take Donald Trump out of context. When if you zoom out a couple sentences before, a couple sentences after, you get the context of it all. I mean, they always do that. They fixate on one thing that Donald Trump said in the longest speeches, and then they run with it. You see the way Jake Tapper is trying to make this whole segment about that one line when this was an over 2-hour speech. I mean, come on, you guys. The American folks, and that's what I'm going to say. Folks they woke up. They can see straight through all of this that CNN has been trying to do, painting that picture, gaslighting their viewership. People are no longer blinded by the Trump derangement blocks that they used to have on. People can see straight through and see, hey, Donald Trump, life was better underneath his presidency versus what we're facing right now. Come on, y'all.
Like that without a teleprompter. We all know that. These are the facts. The American people see it. And, the media can pick it apart, but people are going to vote. They're going to vote what's best for their family, and they see that in Trump.
In multiple interviews this week, Donald Trump repeatedly referred to prominent Democrats and others on the left in the United States, American citizens, as, quote, the enemy from within, unquote. And he suggested as president he would want to use the National Guard or military against them. Let me play some of that for our viewers.
Oh, my goodness. Let me play some of that for our viewers. Before we even get into this, I just want to say that this has already been proven. It's a fact that the president doesn't hold any power to sick the military on, the citizens. That's just not in his capabilities. I mean, it wasn't drawn up like there's checks and balances in place where that could never happen. But once again, they're going to fixate on something so minuscule. Listen to this.
The bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military, because they can't let that happen.
One of the first things you did when you joined Congress was to create the Honor and Civility Caucus. Does wanting to use the military against political opponents, would that pass muster with the Civility Caucus?
That's not. Jake, you know that's not what he's talking about there. What he's talking about is marauding gangs of dangerous, violent people who are destroying public property.
He talked about Adam
and
Schiff
threatening
and the Pelosi's.
other American citizens.
He's not talking. I mean, Governor Youngkin tried this with me too. That's not. He was very clear. Let me play, because he was asked about this later on, because Fox always likes to give Donald Trump an opportunity to clean it up, and he always says, "No, I said what I meant." Here's what he said when asked about it the next day.
It is the enemy from within, and they're very dangerous. They're Marxists and communists and fascists, and they're sick. I use a guy like Adam Schiff because they made up the Russia hoax. It took 2 years to solve the problem. Absolutely nothing was done wrong, et cetera, et cetera. They're dangerous for our country. We have China, we have Russia, we have all these countries. If you have a smart president, they can all be handled. The more difficult are, the Pelosi's, these people, they're so sick. And they're so evil.
That's what he's talking about, using the U.S. military against, not marauding gangs of Venezuelan.
Wait a minute.
Adam
Hold on.
Schiff, Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul. So let me just say, if a Democratic presidential...
This guy, Jake Tapper, is going to just... Mike Johnson might as well just agree that Donald Trump said that the enemy within, and agree to Jake Tapper's narrative, because of the way this guy is just so overbearing with his message. They're going to push it no matter what. This is CNN for you. They won't let their viewerships have a fair shot at the truth.
Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul. So let me just say, if a Democratic presidential candidate said that you and your wife were evil and that the military should be used against you, I would say that's disgusting.
Well, thank you. And some have said that about us because they don't like my politics. I did not hear President Trump in that clip say he's going to sic the military on Adam Schiff. That's not what he's saying. You got two different clips in two different contexts. What President Trump is talking about is that they have been attacking and maligning him from the day he came down that golden escalator. Everybody knows that's true. In 2015, 2016, that's when this began. He's been the most attacked, maligned political figure in U.S. history. They've tried to kill him twice in the last few months. This is real, and he feels that acutely. And Jake, you would too, if you were under attack like he is all the time, every day. I mean Iran, who has assassination attempts out against him.
But that's not
crazy, dangerous people
Adam
in the
Schiff
country who
and Nancy Pelosi
get on rooftops
are not trying
and
to
take shots.
assassinate Donald Trump. I mean, there's this conflation of anybody.
They're not, Jake. They're not. But no, but the political attacks have been relentless, and they have been baseless, and they made up the Russian collusion hoax, and they went after him and have been going after him ever since. They tried to impeach him twice. I mean, they've done real damage in the American psyche. What I'm talking about is the political attacks that are so over the top. Kamala Harris has used language saying he's so dangerous to the country. I mean, I've had colleagues in the House say he must be eliminated. He must be extinguished.
He's literally talking about
this stuff is over the top.
You know, against Democrats. I mean, he's literally talking.
No, he's not. No, he's not, Jake. No, he's not. No, he's talking about using the National Guard and the military to keep the peace in our streets. In the summer of 2020, that my Democrat colleagues call the summer of love, it was crazy. It was mayhem, and Democratic progressive mayors and governors allowed it to go on, including Tim Walz, who allowed Minneapolis to burn.
Yo, there we have it, guys. House Speaker Mike Johnson absolutely laying down the law, silencing CNN host Jake Tapper. We're not sure how he's going to show his face around the network after what we just seen. He's simply, laying out the truth, and we see that CNN always so badly wants to go against that, painting their own picture, zooming in on Donald Trump's 2-hour long speech and taking out one little sentence. You zoom out maybe a sentence before or a sentence after, and you get the full context of the story. They do the same thing with the whole enemy within. I'm not sure when they're going to let the charades go, because the voters can see straight through it, guys. They're not stupid, and that's honestly a slap in the face to their viewership, where they keep trying to paint these lies. You got Jake Tapper won't even let House Speaker Mike Johnson barely get out of word when he's trying to tell or defend Donald Trump or what was being said. I mean, come on, you guys. People see through it, and that's why the polls are showing how they are, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you did enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.